And yes, the 21-day window has opened up.
Aaron Rodgers, baby.
Let's go. Come on. Rodgers.
21.
He is back in some capacity.
He's back to some capacity.
Now, we don't know whether or not this actually means he's going to play.
He's proud of Dak Prescott.
Robert Salah did speak about it.
He wants to get on the field.
Rodgers did return to practice. He was cleared for what is being called
that's crazy, man.
Functional football activity, but not contact yet. So this 21-day window, there's a target date that's been thrown out there. Christmas Eve against the Washington Commandos.
Oh, that's why they're doing it.
Has been a target date that Rodgers, I think, has talked about before. But here was Robert Salah speaking with the media yesterday about the return of Aaron Rodgers.
A lot of guys coming off, they're usually not ready to play football. There's still a little bit of health concern there. And so, you use these 21-day windows to see where they're at. So we're so far away from that. But like I said, the mindset for this is more of a progression in his rehab. And like I said, he's been cleared for functional football activity. He's not cleared to fully play football. And, it's, like I said, part of his rehab progression. He's old school in the sense that he is driven. Is there motivation to be the first to ever do it? Sure, that's okay. That's his why. It's a mentality that I think young guys should be able to grasp to, that he loves this organization. He wants to be with his teammates. He wants to be here. I think he's sacrificed so much already for the organization and himself and his teammates, and he's doing it again. I think it's a testament to who he is.
So,
they don't love y'all. If you don't shut the hell up.
What do you mean?
I will say this, man. He didn't need to try to come back this fast. I mean, there is something to, I think, his desire to want to play in New York and prove doubters wrong. I mean, I think the biggest concern is, the only other player to come back, within like a 6-month period, right, would have been Cam Akers. I think Aaron's going to come back 100 days sooner than Cam Akers, who came back this season. And the concern is, what happened to Cam Akers? He retore his Achilles. So that's my big-time concern for Aaron Rodgers, is if he's able to come back and in Christmas Eve become that Christmas gift that Jets fans were hoping for this season, it's remarkable, maybe the greatest accomplishment for a guy who's won MVPs, a Super Bowl, to be able to defy logic and have this miraculous recovery. But I just get concerned long term at 40 years old. Is he even at greater risk now of re-injuring it, putting himself in that position? That's got to be a huge weight. And then does it matter if they're still in the hunt for the playoffs or not to Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. I honestly don't know if it does. Maybe it does to a degree. But maybe he just wants to come back and play and try to build momentum into heading into 2024.
Aaron Rodgers has been a lightning rod of attention. And he's great at it. He's great at keeping people dialed in and focused in on him. This is nothing. Even with Robert Salah, he's got him drinking the Kool-Aid. Even Robert Salah is sold on the fact of giving Aaron Rodgers the amount of attention that Aaron Rodgers has always commanded. He's just brilliant at keeping people's attention, man. That man ain't coming back and playing. He's not going to come back and play. He's not going to play.
You don't think so?
Hell no.
Can we place a wager on that? I think he's coming back.
Place the wager.
I think this would be a
place the wager.
Giant middle finger to medicine and all the criticism he's gotten.
You mean conventional medicine?
Oh,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What I'm trying to say. No, I don't want to insult
and
doctors.
And that is something that he has made very strong references to doing things the way that he does them. But it's just for conversation's sakes. It's S and giggles.
I don't know, man. I think he may do it.
We'll see.
I think not only will he do it, I wouldn't be surprised if he marched
you
out.
Guys,
I
you
would
guys
be surprised
get to sit.
If he marched out on the field and wrote Fauci on his cleats. I swear to God.
Geez.
I swear to God.
It's a great pool. All I'll say is if you guys are right, then I'll give you that prop at that moment in time. But until that moment happens, there's no way in hell I'm sitting there thinking that just because it's Aaron Rodgers, he's going to defy the laws of science.
But
he's using
medical.
Different methods, though.
Man.
Weren't they saying they were using
Bump
the sound of dolphins mating or something?
Yeah, that's what they said. And orcas taking
orcas.
number twos. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Deucing it up.
I mean, I didn't hear that.
I don't know.
I legitimately heard the whole Dolphins thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Orcas are dolphins. They're the cousin.
But if you had, and I can understand having doubts about it, but I mean, we're less than 3 months since it's happened.
Two really different sounds, by the way. Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah, that feels better.
Ew.
You know? Then it was like,
is that what an orca sounds like? Oh, I feel better.
I mean, that's like
that's probably a big crap too, by the way.
An orca? Yeah.
I don't want to think about it, man. Because like,
is that
when you go on vacation,
person.
swim in that ocean, like you forget. There's a lot of fish going to the bathroom in there.
You're having a kid every time. Hey, so back to Aaron Rodgers.
Seriously though, like you go into the water, you're like, man.
Oh, there was an orca here.
I mean, there's many orcas.
Is that kryptonite? But with Aaron Rodgers, my whole idea of this is to keep people talking. He is now, once again, and he's never really gone away. Zach Wilson did an excellent job by playing just well enough but bad enough where he stole the headlines. He became more of the headlines of the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers has taken it back, and now he is giving, that sacrifice that Robert Salah is talking about? He's taking the anger and the disappointment of Jets fans, and he's refocusing their attention onto something positive.
That's all they got
he's
right now. He's
moving the goalposts. Well, give him credit, but he's not coming back. There's a difference. There's a difference.
Hold
if
on.
this is 7-on-7, I get it.
Save this if he does come back here.
Oh, I love it. It will sound amazing. I'll sound amazingly horrible.
It will, but you will not love it because you do not like admitting this sort of thing.
I don't like admitting when I'm wrong.
Okay.
I really don't at all.
But you don't think that the fact that he's even back at this point would cause some reservations for you to be so bold?
I think that's phenomenal that he's back and he's throwing the ball at this point and has been cleared to do different activities.
Yeah, and by the way, just so people understand, at this point, when you have the 21-day window open, you're cleared to practice now, and you don't count against the roster, which is a key thing. So for the next 3 weeks, these next 3 games, he could still be out there ramping himself up, as Robert Salah said, from a rehab standpoint. And really, it's the intensity, right? And LaVar, you suffered this injury. What you're trying to do anytime you have an injury is continually build up the intensity that your body's going to endure to prepare it for a game, because there's nothing like a game. And that's why it's such a big risk. Is practice speed is one thing. The intensity to it is one thing.
And that's what I was getting to. So I'm glad you went there. So there you go.
Well, because and then I think more than that, I mean, MetLife Field has become like Santa Anita, has it not? I mean, turf. I'm just saying that turf has been awful.
Putting dudes in the body bags, huh? Kneecaps.
Okay, Jonas, I know you've brought this up. How many have we had this year on that turf?
Like 3 majors. At least 3 major ones.
There was just one. What was the one that just Jalen Phillips?
That
just took place. Then there was for sure another one that also happened, and this is after they reportedly switched out the turf in the offseason.
Right.
So there's just a bad. It could be the curse of Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa. It has to be. He's buried somewhere underneath that field.
By the way, that is a great call. It is the NFL's equivalent to Santa Anita.
Dang.
You find this man.
But Q's point. I mean, I'm going to leave.
Here comes the paddy wagon.
I'm going to leave the white sheets alone. I just it's good for me. People like me to stay away from white sheets.
It's a beautiful.
Oh my God!
It's a
you had to go there.
You're right. But back on topic.
It's a beautiful place with no space heater at 3 in the morning.
I find it to be very curious that they would say
you guys were
Washington.
there, right?
Yes,
yeah, we were there
many times.
What was it like?
It was dead.
It's wonderful.
I mean, it was 3 in the morning. It was 3 in the morning. I'm saying it was dead, as in there was no one there.
Well done. That is so well done. That is so well done.
Hey, the Commanders though. Like you're gonna bring him back versus. So basically, you're saying now that they gotten rid of Sweat and Young.
That's their last home game of the season.
How good does Sweat look, by the way?
It looks pretty good.
Yeah. He's
making
so
a big difference for Chicago. Listen, if you're going to bring that man back, as Q has mentioned, Game reps cannot be simulated in any other form, fashion, any other place other than on the game field on game day.
So
he's not going to know what his body is true. He knows he's not going to get hit in practice. He knows that.
Rodney Peete ruptured both his Achilles, and he told me yesterday that at about 4 to 5 months, he started to feel a little bit comfortable. He could stand up on his toes. He could do it. He said he wasn't ready to go. Like, there's just, you're not ready to go. But I just wonder, this surgery being different.
But again, that's a long time ago. Yeah, that's a long time ago. But the bottom line is your body is going to react differently when you see a 300-pound grown-ass mammal coming your way during the course of a game that is allowed to hit you if they get there. The movements you're going to make even before you get hit might be the most detrimental movements that you make. Not even the hit itself, but the body, that your mind and what it's going to try to force your body to do, like, woo-S, don't want that. Don't want to get that hit. Let's get rid of the ball. Whatever it is, whatever in that moment your body's doing, what you're not doing is thinking about the damage you're doing to yourself when you make those movements. Well, if you're not prepared to do that.
Here's what I know.
We not touch football.
We talked about him being comeback player of the year earlier in the week, and he was.
If he plays one play and he goes down in a heap of S, he will get comeback player of the year.
He was 10-1 a couple days ago. According to DraftKings, it's down to 8-1. So I'm just saying, movement.
You better get that money in.
The problem is DeMar Hamlin was at minus 175. He's at a minus 210 now. So
didn't he start the season though like minus 350?
Yeah. Well, because everyone just assumed, hey, the guy almost died. You know.
I mean, if you're on the selection committee of that, wouldn't you place a bet? Wouldn't you have somebody else place the bet?
Yes.
I think that's considered unethical, but yes.
Of course it's unethical.
You could do that, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, that's why they put a limit on some of this stuff.
I'm going to tell my cousin's cousin to place that bet.
Yes.
That's why they put limits on the prop bets for the Super Bowl, because all the people who are there the week of listening to the rehearsal of the anthem,
right,
they know exactly how long it's going to take.
Right.
And you got some scumbag security guard looking in to see what the color of the Gatorade is so he can text his buddy and be like, hey.
Right.
Yeah, you think he's over there playing pocket pool. Meanwhile, he's just putting in a bet on his phone.
Moving the goalpost.
That's what that San Diego's
moving the goalpost. That's all.
That's all he was trying to do.
He was just trying to just distract people.
Yeah, he was texting his buddy
from how bad the Chargers are.